Okay, so welcome to today to this little workshop called Your Life, Your Turn. And this is really designed for women who are ready to write their next chapter. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I'm going to share with you my rebuild method that I use to rebuild my life and what I teach other women. I'll share some stories of other people. There is no sell at the end. I'm not going to try and sell you something. But if you would like to have some more individual conversations, there will be at the end an opportunity to book a call. Okay, so you can just kind of enjoy the chat for the 45 minutes and not be having to stress about what I'm doing at the end. So if I just have to move you all around. So if you're a woman who's been through a big life change and you're ready to reconnect with yourself and to find that clarity and build a life you're proud of, well, this is for you. So the new chapter begins here. You've probably been everything to everyone else, and now it's time to be something for you. Maybe your marriage ended, maybe the kids have grown up, or maybe life just doesn't feel like yours anymore. And somewhere along the line, you lost you. And deep down, you're asking, now what? So, is that any of you? What have you all been experiencing? Is it marriage ending? Maybe kids are grown up, life just doesn't feel well. If you want to type it into the chat, that would be great. Just gives me an idea of why you're all coming along. Perfect. Okay, let me just keep going. So, this isn't about fixing your past, it's about designing your future. And I think that's what's the exciting part. Yes, our past has created who we are today, and it really has affected a lot of our life, but we want to design the future the way we want it. And I think that's the exciting part about this next chapter. So what you'll learn in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to walk you through my three-step rebuild method, the same process I used to rebuild my life. And I use still every single day. That's what I love about this. This is a framework that helps you forever. It is a toolkit that helps you forever. It's not just do it once and you are right, because we do know that challenges come our way all the way through our lives. And this is the toolkit and how to manage that. And it really moves you from not just coping, but to actually living again. So what you'll walk away with today, a deep sense of who you are and why and where you are now, a clear direction and next steps for the future, and the confidence to begin this new chapter with purpose and hope. And thanks, Lou, for sharing. Empty nester, marriage needs to end. Kelly, empty nester, daughter moved interstate. You sound like my life. My daughter moved interstate too. It's like if I say her name, I cry. Do you cry when you say her name? I know it's hard. So yes, you're all in the right place. I'm really excited for you. So as I said, this isn't about going back to who you were, but this is your moment. You've made it through the hard part, and now it's time to write the next chapter with that clarity, with that courage, and with that support. So let's begin your life, your turn. The first steps of your next chapter start here. So I'm Kylie Ray. Some of you may be following me already on social media. Some of you may be new to my life. I want to share a little bit about about my story before we start. So this is me and my children. My marriage actually ended 20 years ago this week, which is amazing that I've come that far. And I met my husband at 16. I moved out of home at 18. We got engaged at 20, married at 21, child at 25, child at 27, divorced at 36. And so then I was a single mum for a long time, for 15 years. I was on my own. I met my husband, I'm married now, I met my husband 5 years ago, and I knew I wanted to be in a relationship again. So I did date all the way through that. So I was a single mom, the challenges of that. I did date all the way through being single. I did study a master's. I did move up my career, but I also had lots of challenges along the way. And I think the one thing that I noticed pretty quickly was that I had no idea who I was. I actually often say that I felt like the outline of the cookie cutter gingerbread man. I knew that there was this outline to me, but I did not know me because when I met my husband at 16, so when I left home, I really left the home as a child into a relationship and didn't get the opportunity to grow as a woman and to know my values and what was important to me because I instantly became a couple. And so instantly I was creating a couple version of me, not an individual version of me. So that one was really hit me in the face pretty quick. And I also couldn't make any decisions. I don't know about you, but you make all your decisions when you're married together, like what goes in the shop in the shopping trolley, where you're going to live, what school your kids are going to go to, where you're going to go camping. And I couldn't make a decision on my own. I remember buying a bed to move out of the marital home, and I went back to the shop 5 times because I could not make a decision. I ended up taking my little boy, who was 9 at the time, with me to help me make that decision. And I suppose he was invested because he did sleep in my bed for a few years after we separated, which I think he needed. So something had to change. And what that was is I chose something different. I reclaimed my power and I began creating the life I truly wanted. And that started with just one decision. I actually was invited to a personal development seminar weekend, had no idea what it was going to be about, had no idea it was going to be so life changing. And that's when my world started to change because I started to get the tools and the strategies and the hope and the belief and the clarity that I could create the life I wanted. And then now, all these years later, I have the beautiful marriage, and I always used to say to my kids and everybody that I knew, I don't want to be married unless it's amazing because I wanted to model to my children a healthy relationship. So I hung out until I could find a healthy, beautiful relationship. So I have that now. We've built the dream home. I have a dream car. I'm not into cars. As long as it has air conditioning, I'm fine. But I really did want it was been fun being able to manifest and create the life that I wanted. And I've now got the freedom to be able to have the holidays that I want. I have the connections with my children and with friends. And I'm actually going to the Maldives in 6 weeks' time. So that's a bit of a bucket list for me, which is really special. So here's why I want you to stick around. I have rebuilt my life from the ground up, and it was challenging, but I was always focused on having an amazing life, and I did whatever I needed to do to create that life. I know what it feels like to lose yourself and what it takes to rise again. I've risen through the part where everything changes. And it changed. As I said, I've done the marriage ending, I've done the empty nester, I've done getting married again. I've done the dating. I've done all those things. It's all been lots of challenges, but I've grown through that, and I'm happy with the person I am now. The ending, the uncertainty, the rebuilding. I've lived it, and I'm proof that you can rise too. And I have helped many clients. And you don't have to figure it out alone. I'll show you how to begin your next chapter with confidence. So if you're ready to stop surviving and start creating your next chapter, you're in the right place. So you've been holding it all together and hoping something will change, but it's costing you your energy and your spark and your sense of self. And deep down, you feel it is time to choose you. And I'm assuming that's why you're all here today. So, a life that feels aligned, and that's one of my purpose words this year, aligned, fulfilling, and true to you is possible, no matter where you're starting from. And I want to share this story because I'll share just a couple of little stories today. We've only got 45 minutes to inspire you to what's possible. So I think that my life has been quite inspirational of what I've been able to achieve. But this lady, Teresa, I actually started coaching her at just before Christmas last year. And she came to me after her marriage of 20 years had ended, and she had been a stay-at-home mum. Her husband was in the forces, and so they traveled around a lot, and she had to return to work when the marriage ended. Now, you can imagine the shock of the life change that would have caused. She lost confidence and direction and a sense of who she was, and she knew she needed to take control of her life and rebuild. She said she was stuck in a life that no longer felt like hers, and she was just trying to get through the day. And it's interesting, when I first met her via Zoom, she only showed me a small part of her, and she was really quite sad, and her body language was very low and sad. But within a couple of weeks, things started to change. And she said that she reconnected with her values, because what you value in a marriage or when your children are living at home to what you value as a person going on your own journey is different. And sometimes we don't take the time to work that out. She got clear on her goals and her identity. She discovered what truly mattered and how to move forward. And she created boundaries and found joy and started saying yes. She said to me, I finally feel like me again, but stronger. I'm not surviving anymore, I'm thriving. Now, I actually reached out to her a couple of weeks ago because I knew a lot of her goals were due to come true at the end of this year. And she wanted to move back interstate to be closer to her family. And she said, Kylie, funny that you contacted me today, because my furniture has just been put on the truck to be moved to interstate. 2 weeks ago, I got my dream job. And she said, I'm just about to go and perform in a dance competition, a concert, a performance. It was her year of saying yes, and she joined a dance group. And this photo was a selfie she sent to me. She just had her makeup done because she was about to do her performance. And like, from the woman that I met a year ago to this woman, well, even the after the 10 weeks of coaching, on our last call, she said that she was making some scones for her new group of friends, and she had the music on, and she actually stopped and she said, I'm happy. I'm actually happy. And I thought, wow, from someone who was feeling so sad, to now has her identity, has a life, has her dreams happening. That's why I do this, because it's so possible for people. And I hope that inspires you, because her story makes me very happy. So let me share with you what I did with Teresa and myself and other women. So I have created the rebuild method, and this is the pathway to creating a life you are proud of. And it has 3 phases. There's the rediscover phase, the reset phase, and the rise phase. And that's what I'm going to take you through today. So you've tried holding it all together, and now it's time to build something that holds you. So in the rediscovering you phase, what we do here is it's important to look at your values, your purpose, and your direction. It's really important to be clear on where you're starting and where you're wanting to go. Because if you wanted to get to Sydney and you were coming from New Zealand, or if you were coming from Perth, it's 2 different journeys that you're going to travel. So it's important to know how long how far away it is, what snacks do I need to pack, and what's important to you along the way. So you really want to get clear on that. And so, and you really want to know what your purpose is. Do any of you know what your purpose in life is? Maybe not. We often don't take the time to answer the questions. I know for me, I have, I'm going to, well, I'll write in the chat for you anyway. I have 2 purpose words, and they are growth and love. And that is because I want to experience growth and love in all areas of my life. And I do help women work out what their purpose is. And then what do you value? What do you value in relationship with yourself? That's something that we want to get clear on as well. So imagine if you did wake up with a deep sense of knowing. Maybe that feels a long way away at the moment, but to know who you are, what matters most to you, and where to focus your energy. The difference isn't luck. And I know sometimes I've been guilty of that, just kind of hope something will get better. But it doesn't work that way. It really does take getting very clear on what you want, having a strategy, and then having the right people around you to be able to achieve what you want. And you deserve those too. So what I want to do first is I want to break down the rebuild method with you as a check-in for you to see how you're feeling about these areas of your life in each of the rebuild method. So I'm going to ask some questions and I'm going to ask you, are you red? Are you stuck? Are you yellow? Are you uncertain? Or are you green? Are you in flow? And then if you can type them in the chat as we go along, it'd be great to share. So how clear are you on your direction, on where you want to go and what you want in life and how you want to feel? So are you red? You're feeling lost and running on empty. Life feels like survival mode and you're not even sure what you want anymore. Maybe it's yellow. You've had a glimpse of clarity, but they don't always last. You're overwhelmed, and you can still sweep in and get knocked off your feet. Or green, maybe you are feeling clear and confident and your choices align with your values and you know where you're heading and it feels good. Great, so we've got some yellows, I get that. We've got some reds. It's very often a lot of people sit in that yellow because they've started to do some of the work but haven't actually moved there yet. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. Sarah, slowly coming out of red into yellow. Yay, that's exciting that you're starting to move. Thank you for sharing. So if you wanted to move that clarity and you are in the red, you want to move to the yellow, what we want to do is we want to pause and ask, and you might want to, this will be on replay, I'll send it to you later, but you might want to write this question down. What do I truly want right now? Big question. Is it just, do you want your emotions to feel more stable? Do you know that you want a healthier relationship with yourself or a healthier relationship with your partner, or you want a new partner, or you want a new job? Or start to think about what do you want. That will help make the decisions. And then take one small daily action that reconnects you to you. So for me, I've always been a meditator, but I'll be honest, for the last year or so, I haven't meditated. And so I am back meditating every day because I know how powerful it is. When my husband actually said to me, who's not into meditating, said, "Why are you meditating so much?" I said, because it frees up the space in your mind for the answers to come to you. We are so busy in our thoughts and in our life, we don't take the time to stop to be able to allow the answers to come in. Because I do have a belief that everything we need to know is within us, it's just we don't hear it. So if you're in yellow and you want to move to green, align your choices what really matters. So say yes to what matters, say no to what doesn't matter. So set the alarm earlier because it matters to you to go for a walk. Say no to going out late if you know you want to get up early. They're just a couple of examples, but say yes to what matters. Set loving, honest boundaries and prioritize you because you deserve it. So this is Sandra. Now, Sandra started coaching with me in 2020. So when COVID hit, a family member had died. She'd had some cancer, some skin cancers she was stressed about. A staff member had died and COVID had hit and she was a teacher. So remember with teachers, they were still in schools with some kids and the rest of the world's locked down and it was very stressful for teachers. And she came to me and I said to her, "Do you know what you want?" She said, "I don't even know what I want." She couldn't set goals because she was so stressed. So her goal end up being, "I just want to feel better." And I think a lot of us want that. And so that's what we work towards. And definitely by the end, she did feel better. She actually coached with me for another round, and she set some bigger goals this time. And she wanted to live on the Sunshine Coast with a dream job closer to her family. She wanted to improve her health, improve her marriage, and she has done that. So I just want to share this with you. This is Sandra. She sent me this picture of her because I always ask people, when you are looking at what you want, have a bit of a vision of what it looks like. So she said to me, "Kylie, I will know I have achieved my goals when I am walking along the beach on the Sunshine Coast wearing my name brand activewear." And here is this photo of her wearing her name brand activewear that she sent me. So she got the dream. She sold her house here for 100,000 more than she thought she was going to. She bought a house that enabled her to buy a house closer to the beach because she thought she was going to be further away. Got the dream job. Her husband, she prioritizes her relationship. Her husband and her go camping every month for a weekend to stay connected. Her well-being, she learned how to manage that. She didn't, we talk about, what play with the universe, what do you want? She got a car. She didn't even think she wanted a car. She got a car. So she was a real inspirational story. And throughout her journey, she kept sending me texts to tell me how she was going. And this one, she said, celebrating my gains back when I said the words out loud for the first time last March. Hope this is my life soon. And here's a picture of her life soon. Um, she sent me one to say she'd put a contract on a house. When she had got the job and working at her new school, the staff went on a retreat, and she said, I had a special moment today at the retreat. The thoughts and feelings were, I did it. This is incredible. So happy and proud of myself. And then I sent her this one because Sandra did a live call on my Facebook page with me, and I listened back to it, and I said, listen to this. Today is July 2025. Everything you wanted came true by the end of 2024. Just the part-time work to come. She said, oh my God, Kylie, exactly what I needed to hear this afternoon. So beautiful. So also in the rediscovering phase, we want to look at your purpose and values, is what I said before. So when you know who you are and what matters most, life feels lighter. Decisions get easier because you make a decision aligned with what's important to you. The stress reduces. You stop drifting, and maybe some of you are doing that now, and you start moving with intention. Boundaries feel clearer and your energy flows where it matters. Some of you may now be putting energy in areas that don't actually matter. So let's do the traffic lights again with this one, where you stand with regards to your purpose and your values. So where are you now with relation to your values and your purpose? Are you disconnected and drifting? So that's the red. You can type this into the chat. You've spent so much prioritizing others that you've lost touch with what lights you up. You're unsure what matters to you anymore, and it feels unsettling. You're craving purpose, but don't know where to start. Yellow, you're starting to see pieces. And I'm seeing most of you are feeling that. You're beginning to reconnect with your values and desires, but life still pulls you in too many directions. You need space, support, and permission to make you a priority. And I'm not sure about you ladies, do you ever feel like you need permission to make you a priority? I don't think women are very good at prioritizing themselves. Thank you, Lou. Sometimes red, sometimes yellow. Mary, Louise, red. Vicky, yellow. Kelly, yellow. Brooke, yellow. Thank you. Or green. I'm assuming most of you aren't in the green, otherwise you wouldn't be here today. But what green looks like? Grounded in what matters. You're living from your core values, not your old roles or expectations. Your decisions feel aligned, and you're building a life that reflects who you are now, and it feels good. So that's pillar one. Remember, we're going to get clear. We want to get clear on what we want, what's important to us, and what our purpose is. So in the reset phase, this helps you turn the clarity into momentum. This is the kind of how. Your next chapter doesn't just stay a dream, it starts to become a reality on your terms in your time. So with the reset phase, in this phase, you'll get the tools and step-by-step framework to shift your mindset, release what's been holding you back, and start moving forward towards a life that actually feels like yours. And just so you know, ladies, I am a life coach. I have the qualifications. I have done master life coaching, and I've also studied NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, and timeline therapy, because I also know there's a subconscious level to all of us, and some limiting beliefs that hold us back that need support. And so I have trained in that area as well. So in the reset phase, you get the toolkit. How do I actually get the life? The insights into you and your past and what's been holding you back, and that freedom to start to move forward. So how do you get what you want? You need the clarity, which we've already talked about. You need to know what you want and why it matters. You need the strategy. You need to build a simple, aligned plan. You need to take actions, just small, consistent steps. And I want to be transparent here. When I do coaching with people, the steps are small and it feels easy. And the changes happen very quickly, especially because you've got somebody supporting you, but it's not overwhelming. I promise you that. And then you need to keep evaluating, reflect, adjust, keep growing, because sometimes the dreams change, sometimes the direction changes. So let's have a look at for you how to get what you want. Where do you stand? Do you know how to get what you want? Are you feeling lost? You can type this into the chat again. If you're red, you're stuck or scattered, unsure where to even begin. Everything feels foggy and your confidence is low, and I do hear that a lot. You're aching for clarity but don't know how to find it. Or yellow, you've got a vision without a map. So you have a sense of what you want, which is great, but no real plan to get there. You're doing it alone and overthinking everything and burning out. And you're craving structure, direction, and support. And if you had the green, the clear, and in motion, you would have made decisions. You've got a plan and you're following through. You're not just dreaming, you're doing. And it finally feels like you're moving forward with purpose. Thank you for sharing. Yellow, some red, some yellow. Yeah, I would agree. You probably find there's a bit of both, a bit of red and a bit of yellow. So mastering so in the reset phase as well, it's really important to master your state. And I don't know if many of you have been feeling those wobbly emotions at the moment. You know, the high highs and the low lows. Sometimes things go well, but then they kind of fall apart. And especially if you are looking maybe at stepping out of a relationship or you're in that new relationship with yourself, who are you and what do you do? And it's hard to manage that. So I teach how to master your state, and there are three components of that. Your physiology, which is how you move and breathe, and this affects your energy because when you're kind of slumpy and your shoulders are forward, your energy is low and you're feeling sad. I know that when just before my marriage ended, and I knew that it probably had to end, I remember sitting on the couch. I felt like I was always hunched forward and feeling sad because I was in that really sad place of, something probably that you never dreamed that would end was going to end. So that's your physiology. We want to know how to manage that. And the quickest way, and remember this forever because I use this one all the time, the quickest way to change your state is through movement. And so you want to get up and go for a walk. Or one of the things that I do regularly sometimes is skip. Have you ever seen a sad person skip? Never. Little children, when they're skipping, they are happy. And so when you're skipping, you're moving your body up and your energy is rising. Now, it's fun, it's playful. I've done it in the workplace. I had a secretary who had coached with me, and I had a pretty difficult customer coming in, and she comes to me and she goes, "Okay, Kylie, they're here. Are you ready? Let's skip." And here we are skipping together before they came in to rise our energy to get us into a good state. Now, there are less out there ways to move your body, but what I'm saying is move your body when you want to feel better. Usually you don't want to move your body when you're feeling sad or depressed, but it's the quickest way to change your state. That's why, teenagers who sit in their rooms gaming for hours on end can become grumpy and depressed because they don't move. So we want to manage our physiology. And then our language. Our language shape our thoughts and our focus. So who do we speak to the most in this world? Ourselves. So we really need to manage what our self thoughts are, the words that we speak to ourselves, as well as the words we speak out loud. Now, as a little hint, I want to share this with you. So the word try. If you tell someone you're going to try to do something, there is no commitment in try. If I said to you, "Do you want to come for a barbecue tomorrow afternoon?" And you said, "Look, I'll try and get there," There's no commitment in that. If you say, I'm going to try and go to the gym 3 times this week, there's no commitment in that. But if you either need to say, I will or I will not, and just own it, whatever it is. You want to come to the barbecue? No, look, I won't get there. That's fine. You've committed to that. So a good one to take out of your vocabulary is try. And when I started taking this word out of my vocabulary, um, it was tricky. I would start to talk and then I would stop because I was trying to suck the word back in because I don't want to say it. And it doesn't take long to retrain your vocabulary. And then the other one is how can I? This is my favorite. And if something you walk away with today is the move your body to change your state and to how can I? Ask yourself the question, how can I? How can I have a healthier relationship? How can I get the life I want? How can I save some money? Whatever it happens to be. I remember a few years ago, I was sad and depressed, and I didn't even know why I was sad and depressed, but life wasn't good. And I was walking around the house saying to myself, how can I? How can I? How can I? I didn't really know what my question was, but by doing that, I was opening myself up for possibilities, for thoughts and ideas and opportunities and people to come my way to be able to help me. So that is life changing. If you've all got jobs in the workplace when something is tricky, how can I? And then the other part of our state are our beliefs. What you believe drives your decisions you make. So if you believe that you won't be able to survive on your own, there's no way you're going to take an action to be able to do that. If you believe that if you wanted to lose weight, that I can't lose 10 kilos, if you don't believe that, you won't be able to. If you don't believe that you can go on a European holiday because you can't save the money, you won't be able to. So we need to change our beliefs. And I teach you how to get those beliefs because most of our beliefs come from little children before we're 7. Isn't that amazing? So we are behaving from someone who was under 7 years old, but we can retrain our beliefs. And we have limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs. Sometimes we know our limiting beliefs and sometimes we don't. Um, and it's a matter of, going through life and then uncovering them. So when you shift these, you stop reacting in stress and you start responding with clarity and you take back your power. So where do you stand in mastering your state? So your physiology, your language, and your beliefs. So where are you right now? So be honest, this is just for you. And if you can type it in the chat, are you running on empty? You're getting through the days, but it feels like you're barely holding it all together. Everything feels heavy and you're not sure how to feel like you again. Yellow, you are waking up. You're starting to notice what drains you and what you need, but old habits are still pulling you into stress and people pleasing or putting yourself last. Or green, sorry, reclaiming you. You're becoming more intentional. You're responding instead of reacting, and you're starting to feel proud of how you show up for yourself, not just everyone else. Let's have a look. A bit of red and yellow, some red and yellow. Yellow was red until a few weeks ago and now yellow still becoming part of me. That's beautiful, Lou. That's great that some change has happened. So proud of you. Okay, so what is holding you back? We're going to do the traffic light system in a second for this one, but just have a bit of a think. You might want to type it in the chat as we go along. Are you clinging to the familiar? You know it's not working, but change feels scary. So you stay in routines or relationships or roles that no longer fit you? Or are there old stories running the show? I should have this figured out by now. Or it's too late to start over. I know I had an old story of I made my bed, I need to lie in it. No, that was a bad story. These beliefs feel true, but they're not you. You're putting yourself last. You're saying yes when you mean no. You're giving time and energy away and end up with nothing left for yourself. Or you're trying to do it alone. You're used to being strong, but deep down, you're craving support, clarity, and a new way forward. So do any of those speak to any of you for what's holding you back? I would say for me, all of them at some stage would have been holding me back? 3 and 4, yes. Yeah, women aren't really good at putting themselves forward, but we can get better at it. Yes, bits of all of them. Thanks, Brooke. Thanks, Sarah. Kelly, a bit of all. Yeah, I agree. So then where do you stand? Let's do the traffic light system. Red, you feel stuck. You know something needs to change, but you're not sure where to begin. Yellow, you're becoming aware. You can see old patterns, fear, self-doubt, even self-sabotage, people pleasing, but you still keep pulling back. Or green, you're shifting with intention. You recognize what's holding you back, and now you're choosing differently. Yellow and green, I can see that. I think if you're here, you are starting to wanting to choose differently. Beautiful. Okay, so the rise pillar. I love this word. I don't know about you, but I want to rise into my beautiful life. And I want that for you too. So this is where it all comes together. You're held with nurturing guidance, loving accountability, and practical tools that build momentum so you can confidently create the life you truly desire. You're no longer surviving, you're rising into the woman you were always meant to be. So there's support, accountability, and empowerment. Imagine life feeling lighter because you're no longer carrying it all alone and you're not stuck in overwhelm or trying to figure it out on your own. So instead, you have real support or a system that protects your energy, time, and emotional well-being. It's not about doing it all. It's about knowing you don't have to do it all. With the right guidance, tools, and community, you create a space to breathe, heal, and grow. And that's where life begins to flow again. So there's two parts of the support phase. There's support from others. Do you have the right people lifting you up, honoring your boundaries and reminding you of your worth? I know when my marriage ended, I actually had to start from scratch with new friends because we had couple friends and mostly they were his friends. And so I had to start. I had some friends at work, which were lovely, but I did have to rebuild. But even now, as Kylie, in the life I have now, I need to surround myself with people who honor my boundaries, remind me of my worth. It's not about having a crowd, it's about having your people. And then there can be support from a coach, someone like me. Inside my coaching space, you're never alone. I walk beside you with guidance, tools, and accountability, helping you shift from survival to a life that reflects who you truly are. And together we create space for you to thrive. So do you have support? You don't have to do it alone. So tell me, where do you stand with this? Red, you feel like you're carrying it all alone. You rarely ask for help and it's exhausting. I know for me, I was terrible at asking for help. I have a photo of me trying to fix my toilet. I probably should have put that up here because I couldn't ask for help. People like helping. And when I realized that, it made a difference. Yellow, you've let some people in, but you still feel most of the weight is on your shoulders. And green, you've built strong, steady support. You ask for what you need and you trust yourself to receive it. So we've got a few, again, yellows, reds, yellow and red, yellow and green, great. I love that you've got people around you, Brooke. So when you walk through these three phases, everything shifts. It's not just that you feel better, it finally feels like yours again. So here it is, rediscover, reset, and rise. That is my rebuild method that we've walked through today. And I just want to break it down a little bit to what you actually happens when you get this right. So maybe tune into what of these feels right for you. You stop just coping and you start feeling clear, calm, and confident in who you are, not just in what you do. You reconnect with what matters to you and you begin shaping a future that genuinely excites you. You gain direction, self-trust, and make decisions that actually align with the life you want to live. And I'm coaching a lady at the moment, Lydia, and on our second session together, she said to me, it already feels like things are shifting. And that's what I want. I don't know about you, but I actually like things to feel like they're happening quickly. Or you start thriving. The big dreams no longer feel out of your reach because you now have a way to get there. I know for me and most ladies that I coach, We start with little dreams, and then when we start to get those, we get excited that the big dreams are possible. And for me, my big dreams have come true. You hold boundaries with clarity and ease, protecting your time, energy, and peace without guilt. And you stop waiting for life to feel better. And this is what I, you know, want you to do, and start creating a life that feels right now. So this is just the beginning. And so these are just pictures of me enjoying my beautiful life. My husband, who we've just been on a cruise, has to take all my photos for me. And it's, can you take more photos? Can you take more videos? And I think he gets a little bit embarrassed about that, but he just has to do it. So this is exactly what becomes possible when you master the rebuild method inside my course. And my course is called Rise Again. And I just want to share a couple more stories. We're nearly finished. And then if you'd like to book a call at the end, you're welcome. So Therese, this is to inspire you, because ladies, these ladies inspire me. Came to me after going back to work after maternity leave, and she really was unsure who she was. She was a dynamic, go-getting teacher prior to having her children. And then when she came back, she still wanted to be that, but she had a foot in both camps, wanted to be an amazing mum, the mum guilt, but wanted to be amazing in the workforce. And she said she was unsure of who she was. She rediscovered her confidence, overcame self-doubt, found balance in both her career and personal life, and her exercise life. And she's also taken on studies since. She said she knows how to set boundaries. She shifted her mindset. She stepped into a life she feels she truly deserves. And that's what I want. I want people to feel like they deserve it. She said the impact has been profound. Fiona came to me after a really hard time working with a boss. She was in an acting leadership role. She didn't get it what do you call it, assigned the next year, but she came to work on her personal skills because she wanted to still be in leadership. And she sent me this. She coached with me for nearly half a year. That was how she wanted to do it. And she's at the end of the year, she said, I just want you to know, I just want a senior position. And thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. So nice when people get what they want. Michelle said, thank you for taking me on a powerful journey of reflection and self-discovery. She said, I now feel more empowered, clearer on my goals, and most importantly, confident in my ability to achieve them. She said, every day I carry these lessons with me, and they make me excited about my future and what I'm truly capable of creating in my life. Emily said, I've never felt more balanced or at peace with myself. What used to stress me out no longer does. Kylie, you're the best mentor I've ever worked with. So the rebuild method is for you if you're ready to become the woman you admire. You'll say things like, I know who I am now and I like her. I finally know where I'm going and how to get there. And life fits again because I created it. So this is your moment. Your next chapter starts now, and you don't have to walk it alone if you don't want to. Remember, rediscover phase, the reset phase, and the rise phase. Here's the thing, knowing what to do is one thing, but having a clear, personalized plan to actually implement it and see real change, that's what makes the real difference. So this was me when my marriage ended. This is me now. This was my husband taking a surprise helicopter ride to a deserted beach when he proposed to me. So my life has changed dramatically. So I've got everything I wanted. I've created a life that I once thought was out of reach. A loving marriage, a home that feels like peace, deep connected friendships, and that was a gift from separating. I did create beautiful friendships with my girlfriends, my new girlfriends, a successful business, and the freedom to live on my terms. And I also got to model to my children a healthy relationship and a healthy life and a strong woman. So what becomes possible when you say yes to coaching? You finally feel like you again. No more feeling invisible or unsure of who you are. You'll reconnect with yourself, feel grounded in your identity, and begin to move through life with clarity and calm. As I said, you'll say, I know who I am now and I like her. You'll have a clear vision and a plan for your next chapter. You'll stop spinning in indecision and start building a future you're excited about with real goals, direction, and confidence to move forward. You'll say, I finally know where I'm going and how to get there. I think that's the thing. Sometimes we can figure out where you want to go, but not how to get there. And you'll start living, not just coping. No more just getting through the days. You'll reclaim joy, energy, and purpose to create a life that actually feels good to live. Life fits again because you created it. So I would like to invite you, if you'd like to know a little bit more about your individual situation and what's involved in coaching, to book a clarity call. And oops, hang on a second, I just need to get the link to drop into the chat for you so that you can book a chat if you would like. So this call is the first steps back to you, not just the old version, but the woman you're becoming. So you feel proud of who you are now, clear and confident about what's in the next chapter, and finally excited to create a life that feels like yours again. So if you want to, you can scan that QR code. That will take you to my calendar. You could book a chat. There is no pressure. Hopefully you don't feel pressure from what I'm doing today. I'm sharing with you my passion. I'm sharing with you what I have done to support my life and what other women have done to create their beautiful lives. So feel free to book a call, 15 to 30 minutes. Tell me your story. You'll tell me where you are now, what's feeling heavy, where you're stuck, what's not quite right. You'll tell me where you want to be, the version of the life that you want and the version of you that you want, because you're a big part of this. And you're even then I'll share with you the next steps forward if that's what you are wanting to do. So, it's your choice. You can take back the control, reconnect with who you are, start creating a life that actually feels like you with the support you deserve, or you can stay in the same cycle. And a lot of us do that for a little while, and we let the fear and the self-doubt and the past experiences keep you stuck in a life that no longer fits. So this is an invitation for you to choose something different, to choose you. So is there, if you think that you're going to be booking a call, you might want to put in the chat, me. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. There's no pressure. We can have a bit of a chat about your personal situation. So if something inside you is whispering, it's time, listen to her and book a call. This is about moving forward with support, clarity, and direction. Thanks, Kate. I'm really excited about you taking the next step, and I'm looking forward to a call with you as well. Ladies, thanks for coming along today. I hope it has inspired you in some way to be able to step forward into your next chapter. And if you'd like some support doing that, I'm here for you. Book a call, let's have a chat and see what we can do. I'm excited that you have chosen you today, and I'm excited for your next chapter. Thanks for coming along.